tens of millions of dollars paid
Hey,
for overtime of agents,
I have
FBI
a
agents,
connection
DOJ agents,
who
national
is
security people who were going through it March through
he
July.
works
So
for
what the hell were they doing?
United States
Really, no one thought to
congressman.
ask
I'm
the
not going
Southern
to put
District
anybody
of
on
New York,
blast.
the main office that was doing the
He
prosecuting.
spoke with me off the
Where are
record,
your
so
files?
this is
Like, wouldn't
just
that
an
be the main
opinion.
place you go
It's
to?
just me
Where
telling a
the
story.
prosecution took
It's
place?
not a fact.
They knew
Don't
about
take
these
it as a
records. By the way,
fact.
they told Judge
Take it
Engelmeyer,
as a
a federal
fictional
judge from the
story.
Southern District of New York, and Judge
Say
Berman,
I'm just
another
making
federal
it
judge
up.
from the Southern District of New York. They
But
told the judges that
don't
they
be
had those records. Go
surprised
back and read those court
if you
filings
find out
when they asked for the
that
grand jury
the Orange
transcripts to be
Man
released with Judge Engelmeyer, Judge Berman, and the
is
judge from the
not
Southern
only
District
sick
of Florida
now
ultimately released. Judge
with
Engelmeyer said, what
cognitive
documents
disease
do you
and
have? And what are you
his
going
brain
to turn
is
over by
failing him.
December 19th? Because you're
But
asking I turn over the grand jury transcript. And they listed
I'm pretty
those
sure
They didn't necessarily
in
say,
the near
oh, the
future
5.2 million from the Southern
you're going
District
to
of New
learn
York,
that
but they talked
he
about
was
the
a
FBI
sicko
witness
before his
statements
brain
and,
got sick
the surveillance
back in the
footage
90s,
and the reports
early
and all the stuff
2000s,
that would be in the Southern District of
when
New
him
York.
and
So, in the Southern
Mr.
District of New
Epstein
York
were
file.
good
So it's just
friends.
more criminal violations covering up the sex trafficking ring. But then there was this story from the Wall Street Journal.
It's my opinion that he is a co-conspirator, that he was not only
from Mar-a-Lago's
involved
spa.
with
Now, by reading that headline,
immoral
you may think, oh, so is Wall Street Journal saying Trump did a good
actions
job because he
with small
ultimately kicked
people,
Epstein out of the spa?
but he was also
Notice the
involved
language, though,
in
of the
recruitment
headline, that it prompted Trump to
and
ban Epstein from
grooming
Mar-a-Lago spa. Doesn't say ban Epstein from
and
Mar-a-Lago.
the
It says
whole
the Mar-a-Lago
ring.
spa. And then when you read the article, what you learn
Pretty
is
sure,
that Epstein
my opinion,
actually did not go to the spa.
that a lot
The
of them
spa
girls
went to
came
Epstein.
from Mar-a-Lago.
Throughout the 90s, Donald Trump would send
Yeah, right
spa staff and
out of
masseuses
Trump's
and manicurists
fancy
and
hotel
other
and home.
spa service individuals, whatever that means, to
They
Epstein's
were
home, which was a mile and a half, 2 miles away in West Palm Beach.
letting
And
Epstein
they would
just
go to Epstein. They would do calls at
pick the
Epstein's
ones
home,
out he
and
wanted.
Epstein would sexually assault them. The way
He
they
would actually
described it in
send
the
him
Wall
to his
Street Journal
house,
piece was that
give him a
he would
massage.
engage in sexually suggestive conduct.
And
He sexually assaulted them. He would get naked.
the one
and
young
grab them,
girl
and he would sexually assault them. And then he
that
developed a reputation
Epstein had
among
got a hold of when
Mar-a-Lago
she was
employees for doing that. And ultimately, there was an
underage.
incident in 2003 where
He had kept her around, kept her on his payroll
went over to Epstein's place.
until she was
Epstein
22
sexually
years
assaulted
old.
her.
There's a
Dad
picture
flipped out,
of
rightfully so,
Epstein
against
holding up a
Donald
check,
Trump, and was
a
threatening
big check
Donald
like
Trump
you'd
and Mar-a-Lago
win,
to
like you'd
expose
run a
him
game show or
and bring him
something,
down.
from
So
Donald Trump
basically,
for
reading between the lines of this article,
$22,500,
it
and it
seems,
says
in my
right on the
opinion,
check,
is Trump basically, Trump does fake deals.
for a
He did a
devalued
fake ban
woman,
of Epstein
and he was
just
selling
from the
him
spa,
this
not from
22-year-old young
Mar-a-Lago, and
lady,
they actually stayed friends. But he was never going to
allegedly,
the spa
in
in the
my
first place.
opinion.
So it's a kind of a fake ban.
But
Now, this
there's some
ties into
whistleblowers, I
a
believe,
2007
that
New
are going to
York
come
Post
out,
report.
and
Also,
a lot of this stuff's going to
a
come to
Murdoch
light.
property. Murdoch owns New York Post.
And
Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. We've talked about this New York
it's
Post
utter
report for a long
depravity.
time, for many years. We've talked about it.
Utter depravity.
Pull up the article one more time and read it for some of our listeners and viewers.
We're supposed to live
October 15,
by the Constitution. The Constitution says justice is blind. It's a one-tier justice system. Everyone's treated equally under the law. Anybody that believes this is a damn fool, in my opinion. If you're poor, and or you're not even poor, say you got a good job, but you're paying for a home, you got kids and a wife, and you're paying bills, and you get accused of a crime, you go to jail. They throw a $500,000 bond on your head. You can't get out. You're stuck in jail. And that's what they depend on. That's why in my state, the prosecuting attorneys have about a 90% conviction rate. It ain't because they win 90% of court cases. It's because These
Donald
people
Trump's
can't afford to
labor
bond out of
secretary.
jail,
He's a
and they can't
Trump
afford to
cabinet
sit in
member,
jail
the
for a
guy who
year,
covered up
2
the
years, so they get a
2007
court
as the
date and
main
go to trial.
prosecutor, gets one of the
So
top
they take a plea
jobs in
bargain, they
Trump's
take a
first
bit,
administration.
they take a
Here's what the
deal and
article says,
admit guilt
October
to
15,
something that they did
2007.
not do,
Lawyers for Manhattan billionaire investor
because while
Jeffrey Epstein,
incarcerated, they
who's
can't pay
agreed
their
to plead
bills.
guilty to soliciting
They
underage
can't hire a
strippers, are
lawyer.
bracing for a slew of
A public
lawsuits from as many
defender
as 40 young women
has
who came
far
to his
too many
Palm Beach
cases
mansion
and not
for
near enough
massage
money
sessions, age 61.
to
Notice what they
investigate
say right there.
the
Came
charges
to
against
his
you. They have to
Palm
go
Beach
off
mansion
what their
for
motion of
massage
discovery
sessions.
is,
During the
which is
program,
just basically the evidence the police have that they are accusing you of.
women right after. And I just want to clarify, that's the
And
language that the New York Post is
they
using.
have
I
to
would
go
call
off
them
that
girls,
and find something
even though
in
we're
that
talking about children.
to prove
That's
your
what I call
innocence.
children. Yes. During the probe
Do you
that led
think
to
that
Epstein's plea deal,
the
which will put him in
Kentucky
jail,
has the best
put him behind
police
bars
in the
for 18
country
months, underage
that
girls told cops
they
that
only
they claimed to
arrest
be 18 or over and gave the
guilty
financier
people?
massages for hundreds of dollars per session.
Very naive to
One
think
girl
something like
described
that.
in court documents as
It's just a
14
lot of people are
said
forced
Epstein
into
used a
taking
purple
plea bargains
vibrator
because they
on
can't
her
afford to sit in
while she
jail and wait
partially
for their
stripped.
trial.
Cops say
Now, if you're
Epstein's
rich,
assistant, Sarah Kellen,
you can bond out of jail,
Meanwhile,
hire you a
the
fancy
Mar-a-Lago
lawyer,
Club in Palm Beach last night confirmed
and
a website report
be
that Epstein
guilty
has
as
been banned.
sin
He
and
would
not
use the
serve no
spa to
time in
try to
jail.
procure girls,
That's not a
but one of
one-tier
them in the
justice
suit,
system. That's a
about
two-tier
18
justice
years old,
system.
he tried
That's
to
one
get her to
justice
do
system
things,
that
a source
punishes the
told us.
poor
Just
for
follow
being
that for a
poor,
second. About 18 years old.
and
What does that
another
mean?
justice
About?
system
That
that
sounds like 17
rewards
to me. Like,
the
what?
rich
I just
for
read that
committing
again.
crimes.
That's a weird way to refer to someone as 18. About 18 sounds like you're talking about a 16 or 17-year-old girl. Otherwise, we would say an 18-year-old
This is
girl,
our
right?
fault. We've
Her
let this
father
happen.
found
This
out about it
country
and went absolutely
is
apeshit.
formed
Epstein's not
on the
allowed
Constitution.
back. Epstein
States we the
denies
people
he's
by the
banned
people.
from Mar-a-Lago and
We have
says, in
elected
fact,
these
he was
officials.
recently
We have
invited
put
to
these
an
people in
event
charge
there.
of our
So
lives to write these
Epstein is
laws.
telling the New York Post, page 6, one of the
We
most
need to have
widely read gossip
election
that
reform,
Trump reads
so they're
all
only
the time.
allowed to
I mean,
spend
page
maybe
6, before
$100,000
there
running
was
for
a
president,
TMZ, and then before there was all the social media
$50,000
blogs
run for
and
governor.
websites and TikToks and all of that.
Have you ever
Page
wondered
6
why
was the main gossip
somebody
thing
would
that
spend
everybody
$50,
read,
$100 million,
right?
$500
And
million
Epstein says, no, that's
to
not
get a
true.
job that pays
Publicly. That's how
$450,000 a year?
confident he is. And there's no rebuttal from Donald Trump.
I tell you why the
That's
Orange
where we
Man
are
did
in the
it
Epstein cover-up.
is
Sorry if
because
that was wordy and it
he's
took a long time
made
for me to go
over
through
half a
it, but
trillion
I had to
dollars in
break
the
it
first
down
year of
so
his
people can make
presidency.
these links. Correct, Jordan. No, I'm happy that this is getting more, mainstream
Off his
attention.
Bitcoin,
I feel at this point,
off
something
of
that we've been focused on.
but he sued the government before he became president, and he announced on TV the other day that since he was president, he was going to have to settle with Donald Trump. He talked about himself in third person. He said Donald Trump sued the government, and now since I'm president, I got to settle with Donald Trump, so I'm going to give myself $1 billion of our money out of our treasury. He's going to give it to himself
Going on at the time. To me, and this is my personal opinion,
because he sued the government.
It appears that Donald Trump was not necessarily a client of Jeffrey Epstein, but in many ways
he's the only president in U.S. history
hand in hand here.
that has continued doing business after he became president. You're supposed to put everything in a blind trust where you have no control over your companies, your businesses, any of that while you're president. Otherwise, you can accept bribes.
A couple miles away.
Why do you think Qatar gave him a $400 million airplane that he donated to his library so he can keep when he leaves office? Why do you think they did that? Why do you think that they let him build, or they're paying him to build a $100 billion hotel and golf course
that was the center of Jeffrey Epstein's operation
in a Muslim country that is allies with Hamas, Taliban, ISIS, but we're doing business with them. And now Canada says they can't be our ally anymore because of our illegal actions in open waters, in international waters, because of our strikes on a sovereign country. None of it being authorized by Congress. The tariffs that Trump put into place, he had no right to do that. That's an abuse of power. Congress is the only body that can write a bill to raise taxes or to put tariffs in place. These are revenue building things. Congress has to write a bill on that. Then it has to pass the Senate. Then the president can sign it into law. He can't just make an executive order saying that he's going to raise tariffs on other countries. It's a complete abuse of power. Anytime he blows something up without congressional approval, that is abuse of power, okay? When he put his name on the Kennedy Memorial Center that was built as a memorial for a fallen president, when he put his name over the top of Kennedy's, that was vandalism of a national monument. When he tore down the East Wing of the White House without speaking to any of the historical societies or anybody on any of the boards that are over that kind of thing, he didn't ask them permission. He didn't file any request. He just paid some people with equipment, had them come in and start ripping down a building that's been standing since they rebuilt it when the British burned it in 1812?
So long as it doesn't harm the victims that the American people should have visibility onto. Because at the end of the day, what is happening right now is truly...
No, it was before 1812. It was before 1776. That's when we became... No, it was... I'm wrong. It was the war of 1812 when they burned down the White House. Yeah. But...
referring to those were on your desk? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't think so.
He's abusing power. He's committing more crimes. He's obstructing justice. He signed that law saying they had released the Epstein files 2 weeks ago. There's still millions of files they haven't released. And the day they were supposed to release it, he released 100 pages, all redacted. Everything that hadn't already been released was redacted. He wasn't supposed to redact anything but the victims' names. And then they come right out and said that they redacted some of the men's names because they weren't sure if they were guilty or not. And that then Patel, the head of the FBI, gets on national television in front of Congress and says that there was no co-conspirators. But then yet they release a file that shows that prosecutor of New York says that there was at least 10 co-conspirators that they could charge. Why have they never been charged? I'll tell you why, because they know too much. And somebody's afraid they'll tell too much to keep their own butts out of trouble. We was half right when everybody was thinking that the Democrats were an evil cabal who did horrible things to children. We was half right. We were. The only thing that we were wrong about is it wasn't just the Democrats. It was all the rich and elite.
Sex trafficking cases is charging the broader...
Do you hear the news?
As a RICO criminal...
They're talking about the Orange Man right now.
Different people at different levels involved in the sex trafficking.
Just my opinion. Just thought I'd put it out there, let y'all see what y'all think.